Hello, Blizzard fans! This is FalconPaladin coming to you with yet another daily Blizzard upload. This is between Kliz, and ZeRgLiNgS and Moxy on Dash and Terminal, the latter edition. This is the first game that my new screener Squeaks picked for me. I had him sift through all of my subscriber replays to pick the very best, and I really appreciate it. And let's get right on into this game. On the right side of Dash and Terminal, the latter edition, we have the red Zerg player. It is and Kliz in this Archon mode. And at the top, we have the Protoss team. It is ZeRgLiNgS and Moxy something or other. They are Protoss. So again, the same color, which is still really weird to try to deal with, but the fact that they are Zerg and Protoss makes it so it's not too difficult. It's just mini-map problems that usually end up with the issues. So let's go ahead and take a look at our Zerg team here. Again, it is Archon mode, which means that two people, control a single team. So there are 4 people playing this game, but only 2 separate teams, Zerg and Protoss here. Which means that one person usually deals with like building buildings and macroing and injecting and stuff like that. And the other team does a lot of the micro opportunity, going outside the base and doing harassment with things like disruptor drops, or setting lings out to find proxy pylons or things like that. So we'll have to see if the micro is a little bit better in this game than usual games. Are we taking a sneaky second hatchery here? We are. We're expanding down here to the bottom right of the map. This is about the 5 o'clock position, I would say, maybe 4:30 or so. But what's interesting about this is that the Protoss player is not really going to scout this out. I mean, usually Protoss, if they're going to scout to see if the Zerg has another base, they'll look here and say, okay, there's not a base. And if they come in here and they're intelligent, they'll recognize, okay, there's not really anything else going on. I don't see a Roach Warren. I don't see gas being taken. I don't know what else the Zerg player could be betting their money on. There must be another base, and they'll go looking for it. But this could stay hidden for quite some time, especially if Protoss isn't actually going to scout at all, as it seems here. We're actually getting a Zealot, though, the rare Zealot in Legacy of the Void at this point in time. Oh, let's see what patch this is on. Okay, so this takes place during the small part of Legacy of the Void where there was no Chrono Boost, and there was auto-inject on the Queens for Zerg, but they only got 2 larvae per auto-inject. So here is this extractor. Get 3 workers on that extractor, please. There we go. Excellent. Spawning pool just about to pop at the same time. Not going to have enough money for speedlings anytime soon. And meanwhile, this Overlord just kind of hangs out, checking stuff out. What's Protoss working on? Usually that's a little bit more interesting. Cybernetics core on the way. Ooh, taking 2 workers in each of these assimilators tells me we're probably going to see adepts. Just because that's the exact amount of energy or Vespene gas income you need to really make adepts work for you as a Protoss player. Warp Gate being researched here. Excuse me, having a bit of a coughing fit here. I need to get some water or something, but I should be okay. So Stalker's actually coming out here, not Adepts, which I'm very surprised at. Adepts are available, right? Yes, indeed they are. 125, Stalker's 125 and 50. Adepts a little bit cheaper. They are ranged, so not as quick as Stalkers, but Sonic Transfer can be good for that. A bit of some Zealot harassment coming on out. These 3 Zealots more than a match for the 3 ZeRgLiNgS here and this drone. The Zealots will make note of no expansion here and say, something weird is going on. Roach Warren popping up, Spinecrawler popping up, and not anytime soon. We need Queens, we need ZeRgLiNgS, we need something to deal with these Zealots until the Spinecrawler pops, and that's going to be a long time. Yeah, the Zealots very smartly going after that Spinecrawler. Did he blow it up? And then do they just retreat at this point? I don't know. They're going to go ahead and take that drone down. Free drones are always nice. Zealots are being pretty darn cost effective at this point. The Queen is running away as fast as she can and trying to kill stuff. Pulling all the drones off the line, getting a full surround on those guys. Are we going to kill one of the Zealots? One is very low on energy, but all the drones have stopped working at this point. Unfortunately for the Zerg player, the Queen appears like she's going to die. There is a Roach in production. 1 Roach in production. Okay, now 4 Roaches in production. We get back to working here. If the Queen could stay alive, that'd be super nice, but 2 Stalkers have popped in as well. This Queen is so close to dying. The Stalkers, 1 more shot. Bam! Queen ends up dead. Roaches have now popped out, but 2 Roaches by themselves. Really difficult to win this particular matchup. 2 more Roaches popping, though. That's pretty good. They're going to go after the Stalkers. Roaches do very well against gateway units. Both of the zealots end up dead, all 3 of them. And yeah, this is 5 roach against 2 stalker, and another roach popping up as well. That's enough to hold that off for sure. Anything going on back here at the Protoss base? Gateway, 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 and gateway. And that expansion is up for Moxy. However, there's not actually any mining going on here whatsoever. So it's going to be 2 stalkers pushing into this many roaches. I'm not sure why. Boosh, taking shots from that acid saliva. I mean, you're just asking to lose a stalker here. You did pick off a single roach, but that was 1 roach for 1 stalker. Probably not a great trade if you are a zealot, or if you are a stalker and a Protoss player. More stalkers and zealots moving out, though. This looks really like a Wings of Liberty match at this point. Nobody really going for any Legacy of the Voting units at all to speak of. Perhaps they will both fall prey to the curse. I really don't know. Picking off a free Overlord that was just scouting. Boop. Not going to supply block the Zerg player, though it is very close. Roach are just kind of poking back and forth here. Not quite sure if they want to commit to this or not. They don't have speed or anything. On creep, they are faster, obviously. Ooh, getting more and more Overlords here, though. They need to back on out. They can't just sit here at the front and get picked away. Another one dies. Still not supply blocked, and a 3rd base coming up by the Zerg player. So 3 base to 2 base effectively. At this point, Zerg is playing this okay, is upgrading to a lair. We're getting 2 forges and a robo facility for the Protoss player, so that's pretty nice. Overlord, what are you doing? Go home, you're drunk. Go home, get out of there. You don't want to deal with these zealots or these stalkers at all. Another zealot is kind of hanging out, not doing much of anything at this point. Kerr and Kliz, our Zerg players, are waiting on that lair to pop, and what are we going to do with that lair when it happens is the question. I don't know what to expect. We can turn these into Ravagers. I'm not sure. Look at this micro on display, though. This is what you could do when one player's microing and one player's macroing, is you can do these little micro battles all day long and keep teams going back at the base. Look how much stuff is happening at the Protoss while all this micro is happening. It's really, really interesting to see. We're getting speed for the roaches, which is nice. That'll help a lot against this stalker harassment. There's a Ravager popping on up. Again, ooh, picking up another roach. This is just going back and forth. There's really no sign of it stopping whatsoever. We do now have a Ravager, though, and oh, that's nice. When you morph a Ravager from a wounded roach, it actually makes a full health Ravager. So that's kind of a good way to save its health. Corrosive Bile, again, missing on everything, because that's always what it does. An Immortal coming out as well. Oh, is this even earlier? This might even be earlier. This is from when Chronobus was missing and the Immortal model was totally messed up. So that's crazy. Oh, well, the good news is I don't have to reload the entire game to load these older replays anymore. But the bad news is maybe this is a little bit older. But at the same time, it is still Legacy of the Void. We still see these Legacy of the Void units and see how they interact with each other. So I think we're okay with that. Picking off creep tumors, not bringing an Overlord here, though. The Lings don't have speed. Lings with speed getting us around on this would be really nice with the roaches on the outside, but that poor Zealot just wants to die. Keeps taking shots from the Ravager and the roaches. Corrosive Bile missing again, because that's what it does. The Protoss player really, really wants to kill this base, not really choosing to go up in here and harass this at all. Choosing instead to take down queens. One more shot on that queen and she's dead. Nope, decides not to. Immortal doing some good stutter step. Stalker's doing some good stutter step as well. But the ZeRgLiNgS actually take down the Immortal. The full model is visible, is there as it dies. More and more ZeRgLiNgS ending up dead. But roaches, Ravagers, queens. The queens are so slow off creep. They're going to get picked off by these stalkers unless somebody saves them. The roaches and Ravagers try to do so. This back and forth action is pretty much non-stop at this point. Oh boy. Another Overlord ends up dead. Still not supply blocking, but that's okay. But in the meantime, the Zerg player is just losing units left and right. 9 roaches in production, though. It is 46 to 35 harvesters. So Zerg is up on worker count, is up on these 3 bases, is pretty well saturated. Not doing too poorly as well. The Stalkers are now in the line, though, trying to take out that queen. Not going to happen. I think the answer to these Stalkers is going to be Speedlings. I know roaches are good, but at the same time, a Speedling surround on these Stalkers, and they will all die so fast. 2 Lings in production, as well as a Lurker Den being morphed in at the same time. We're losing Stalkers, but the units lost tab shows there have been 5 Stalkers, 5 Zealots, and an Immortal to 22 Lings and 11 Roaches, which is probably a fair trade. A blink on again. I think we should probably take out these Queens, but instead the Stalkers are going after the Roaches. I'm not sure if they're actually microing enough to make that decision for themselves, but the blink in, and they get the Queen. Very nice. Oh, Hydra's in production as well. Obviously, we do have the Hydra Den because the Lurker Den is morphing on in. And back here, we're looking okay. We are saturated 11 out of 12, 9 out of 16, and 14 out of 16. So doing very nicely under this pressure. But again, you can micro kind of by yourself when it's in Archon mode. So all these Stalkers are coming in. Ooh, there's a Disruptor coming in at the same time. This is the older model. So let's see here. Shoots out a ball of energy, last 2 seconds. Okay, so about the same that it is in the current patch. Roaches and Hydras and a Queen, again, is pretty much the effort that we're going to use to defend against this Disruptor Zealot Stalker composition. Taking another base is the Zerg player, and Disruptor's shot would be really nice for right about here. Here it is. Runs away, fire, doesn't catch anything. Maybe a couple Lings ended up dead, but that's not really a big deal in the grand scheme of things. Are we going to morph in Lurkers is the question. We could really use some here. Ooh, Creep Tumor picked off. Oh, Disruptor. Oh, no, they picked off the Disruptor before it could actually hit. Bam, very, very nice. Indeed, all of the Zealots are now dead. We're pushing across the creep and out of the creep. That's not where we're comfortable. More and more Stalkers coming across at the same time. This fourth base, again, is going up. There's no sign of a third base for the Protoss player. I'm not entirely sure what they're up to doing. Pylons, 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 pylons everywhere. This pure Stalker play, though, I'm not sure if it's the answer. We do have, Corrosive Bile did get shot, and maybe actually did some damage to that Stalker. Well done. This Observer is here. That's very nice at the same time. Just keeping an eye on what's happening. Corrosive Bile actually hits the Zerg units, which is always unfortunate. Hydra comes up to the front line and then backs on out once again. So people playing all over the place. It's just poking onto the creep, trying to kill creep tumors at the same time. Hydras and Ravagers. I feel like these Stalkers have been around forever. Since the beginning of the game, they just refuse to die. They get replenished piece by piece by piece. Protoss Team 2 macro guy is not doing the best. We're at, where are we here? Actually, we're doing okay. 300 minerals, 600 gas. ZeRgLiNgS is our Protoss player, which is always confusing. Why do these guys do this? So there is a Lurker, but there's an Observer as well. So you don't necessarily want to blink on there and just lose the Lurker. I guess they could blink in and kill the Lurker, but then all the other DPS from the Hydras and the Ravagers would probably take them out at the same time. So probably not a great decision here. Morphing in more and more Lurkers, the Observer goes down, and now you really don't want to come in here because you can't see these Lurkers. You just keep taking shots from the Lurker. It is 35 damage to Armored, which is what Stalkers are. Stalkers have about 160 health, so I mean, they don't get one shot or anything, but with a couple Lurkers and the splash damage available from those spines, that could be a problem for these Stalkers. Another Disruptor here joining the army of the Stalkers. Are we going to try to disrupt some things? There we go. Disruptor shot comes in and misses everything somehow. Passes right through that Hydra army. Doesn't get anything whatsoever. Taking out another Observer. That's huge. Good pickups there. Using this Overseer to scout the Observer. And this wall is not really going to be breached at any time, I don't think. This is a lot of spines coming on up. I think we can dance back and forth as much as we want, Moxy, but nothing's really going to happen. We are researching muscular augments, giving the Hydralisks more speed off of creep, which is always nice for maneuverability. One Lurker over here defending things by itself. I'm not sure if that's enough to actually hold off this entire group, but we will have to see indeed. Oh, we're actually making Colossus. All right, so Protoss player here decides, you know what, I've heard Colossus are bad and Legacy of the Void, but I don't care. I'm going to make Colossus. I'm going to make this work. The range is 6 right now, but fully upgraded. I think it's 8 if we can do that. Where is this? Thermal Lens increases the range of the Colossus weapon. I think it has pushed it to 8. Lurkers as well, fully upgraded, do have a range of, 9. So maybe they outrange, or is it equal? I can't remember. This is so embarrassing. Get extended thermal lance so I can see what it is, and once and for all, make this decision. We're coming across with the Mothership Core, and again, we do have this Colossus at the same time. We could take down this debris. Very smart. There we go. Overlord in a good place to see this, though. This debris is completely under fire. You need to reposition your Lurkers, or bring some other Lurkers over, I suppose. That is another answer. And okay, here we go. Disruptor shot to Nowheresville. This debris, it might actually end up going down. Corrosive Bile gets missed or dodged once more. Moxy saying, just let me kill this debris. The Lurkers are waiting, though. They're waiting for this. Please come in. I will kill you with all of my spines. Extended thermal lance, extended thermal lance. No, not getting extended thermal lance. All right. All right. That's okay. No big deal. Lurker Burrow. So we're holding this area and trying to hold this area at the same time. We're getting upgrades, which is nice. +1 Carapace, +1 missile attacks here at the 13-minute mark. A little bit late for Legacy of the Void, but you know what? Subscription missions are fun, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Lurkers, though, bam, killing couple Stalkers there. Observer here at the same time, scouting things out, moving on back away from the Lurkers, however. Where's that Overseer? Where did it go? Are we going for it? Disruptor shot takes out a ton of ground units. The Colossus are hitting everything that they can, even with their Gimp 6 range. Still doing a lot, raining fire on these Hydras and these Roaches, but they're pretty much alone at this point. I don't know how this is going to work. +1 attack is here. They are going to go ahead and burn down these Lurkers. None of the Colossus have died whatsoever. 2 kills 2 kills, and 6 kills. That one is a Mentor. Colossus, this Observer here is a big problem right now for the Zerg player. Gonna try to come in here with the Stalkers, but again, just not a good idea. Roach comes out, takes a couple shots to its face for that trouble. Third base is here established at the gold right now for our Protoss player. Man, still no extended thermal lance. This is crazy talk. Alright, so we're getting Mutalisks, we're getting Ravagers. We are continuing Colossus production right now. This is a little bit insane. Lurker sitting at the top of the ramp, just hanging out, no big deal. Are we still getting those upgrades? No, we kind of stopped at 1. But again, that's to be expected at the level of this game. More and more Colossus and Observers coming on out. We don't want to lose an Observer and lose the ability to see Lurkers entirely. We really want to have a backup observer in case that does end up happening. More and more Stalkers coming at the same time, +2 attack, +1 armor is on the way. The dance, back and forth. Probably take down this debris once and for all. There it goes. Are we going to march on in? I think we are. Marching right on in, going after this evolution chamber. It dies super fast, but Mutas and Lings coming from the backside, trying to get maybe a pincer attack. I don't know if it's going to work, though. Good stutter step. Micro Corrosive Bile being used at the same time, trying to burn things up as they retreat, but the Colossus are at the front. That is not where you want them. Colossus need to be at the back of this army, be protected, and the Mutas do take one of them down. That's huge. There we go, backing them up away from the action. A lot of attack here, but I think this is enough Roaches and Ravagers and Hydras to take this down. Another Colossus dies. All the Colossus are dead. The Stalkers are forced to retreat, and at the same time, we're right here at the gold base. Accidental scout of this gold base. The Zerg player says, I can't let this stand. This is crazy. Sending Mutas in to take down the probes that are mining from this base as well. The Stalkers are trying to dissuade the rest of the army from killing this Nexus. Do an okay job of it, but at the same time, they're dying. So maybe not as good as I thought. All the workers at this gold base are completely dead. The Nexus at the same time might end up dead as well. It's going to be very, very close. No, it is, because all of the Zealots are going to die. The Colossus needs to retreat out of there immediately. Oh, Extended Thermal Lance is on the way. So right now it is 6, but let's see if that goes to 9 or 8 when that actually finishes. Assuming that's still alive. Nope, Colossus is now completely dead, but the fact that we're getting that upgrade tells me we're probably going to make more. There we go. So let's see, as soon as Extended Thermal Lance finishes, what that actually bumps that up to, because I really need to know what that is. Corrosive Bile, I think, killed his own stuff. That's a problem when you're a Ravager. If you shoot those in the air, they might come back and hit you. The same principle applies to guns and bows and arrows. Zerg base coming up here at the same time. Zerg taking another base. The Colossus, once again, there it is, Extended Thermal Lance at 8. So, okay, they actually, Lurkers outrange Colossus by 1. That's a little bit crazy, Doc. All right. Stalking on in again are these Stalkers, trying to take down Ravagers, managing to get that again. It is a comeback. This is actually a fairly scary push from our Protoss player. There are a bunch of Hydras. There are Lurkers in the way. The Lurkers need to burrow immediately, though, and they do. They burrow. Spines are enough to chase back the Protoss army. Once again, you don't want to attack into those spines. And Roaches at the front, Hydras at the back, doing okay. But again, the extra range on the Colossus is helping quite a bit. A bit of a pincer move here takes down one of the Colossus. Another one under fire as well from these Mutalisks chasing across the map. Roaches, Hydras take down one more Colossus. And then I think they're going to go ahead and back on home, or maybe just sit here and try to defend for a little bit. Replacement third base here, not at the gold, a little bit safer for the Protoss player. I think that's the plan anyway. Mutalisks flying around trying to see if there are any bases. They're unaware of juking the Stalkers out of their pants. And then juking again. Look at this. Look at this micro on display at this low-level game. This is all thanks to Archon mode. Trying to catch an Overseer or an Observer. Not quite able to do it. The Blink Stalkers come in once again. Roaches. The Roach production is pretty good right here, but they're not really microing super well. All of these Zealots are right on top of the Roaches at the same time. Mutalisks flying in to take out those guys out and leave the Roaches to take down the Stalkers. Instead, Photon Overcharge goes down on this Nexus. Going to try to smash down all these Zerg units all by itself. Not going to happen, though. This is a lot of Roaches and Hydras and Lurkers. And no Ravagers in this army, but that is A-okay. Going to take down the Nexus. Yes, we can. We have enough DPS to do it. Boom. Second base ends up dead. There are no bases left. No mining bases, anyway, for our Protoss player. This might be it. ZeRgLiNgS has left the game. Yes, teammate Moxy also leaves. Kerr and Kliz are victorious. And our Zerg player has won this Archon mode match. So, alright, pretty interesting game, to be sure. Sticking in the game, here are our Zergy players. They like killing Protoss buildings. Might as well do it, even if they've actually already won. But this has been FalconPaladin with yet another daily Blizzard upload. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you heard and what you saw today. You can also catch me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, all at /FalconPaladin. And until next time, as always, thanks for watching, and you take care of yourself.